we are continuing to build our Keepsake box, and last time we were making our pieces to thickness and width, and now before I cut them to mitered length, I want to make a little dado so I can put the bottom into a slot in all the sides and ends. So I'm going to do that on this table saw, and what I need to do is look at my plan at detail 1, and it talks about the blade height and then the distance from the fence. So there's a couple different ways to set that up, but I want to make sure the saw is off, so I'm safe to adjust things. And there's these little setup blocks, which are really nice and accurate, if you want to use them to set up. And so I'm going to set up the blade height, just perfect. The other option to use is a ruler that starts at 0. But you never want to use a metal ruler or any tool with these table saws to touch the blade, or any table saw. Use wooden push sticks for sure. So I have the blade height set, and now I want to set the fence. And what I'm going to do is run this straight over, and it's going to make a groove in all my pieces on the inside of the pieces. Okay, so you're going to have to pick what the inside of each piece is and also what the bottom is. I'll use my push sticks because if the board flies away, I don't want my hands going into the blade. And I also have a piece of whatever I'm going to use for my bottom here, because I want to make that dado as wide as this piece of lumber so that it fits into that slot. So I have a scrap, not cut to size yet, but a scrap to use to test the width of it. And turn the saw on, and I'm ready to go. So I've done one cut through the pieces, but that's not quite wide enough. And so what I'm going to have to do is adjust the blade a little bit to the right to get that wide enough. And then I'll run it again. And that's perfect. So now I'm ready to run my other two pieces. And now I have a dado on the inside of each one of these, the right height and the right depth, ready to accept my bottom. The next thing I'm going to do is cut them to mitered length on the miter saw. Okay, I just wanted to say, as I'm getting out here, I'm getting pretty close to reaching, but I'm only reaching far enough that I'm not leaning on my hands. I always want to be stable on my feet on any tool, so that if something happened to my hands, I'm still standing on my own 2 feet. So in terms of reaching, always be sure that you're not reaching far enough that you're relying on your hands to keep you standing up. Okay, so I made the dados in my boards, and now I'm ready to cut them to mitered length. And mitered length means it's going to be like a picture frame around the bottom of the board. Before I even start measuring length though, I want to make the ends mitered, and I want to make sure that they're mitered so that my dado stays to the inside of my box. So I was having some trouble mitering on the miter saw, but I want to turn it to 45 degrees. And I'm going to miter the ends. The dados will face the fence in this case. What I was having trouble was holding it sturdy, so I made myself a holding stick like this, and it seems to hold it really nice and solid. Both ends of my board, just because I always want to measure from a miter when I'm making miters. both ends mitered, what I'm going to do is measure from the end of my miter. And I'm going to flip the piece over to do it actually, and then mark my length. You can use a ruler or tape measure. I'm going to measure the ends first, which are 5.5, and then use my combination square to make my 45 degrees. And I'm going to mark my 9 right now as well. So I left my miters marked so that I can keep the blade tilted this way. Now I want to put the wood right where I want to cut. And then use my special holding stick to just hold it really solid in place. So I have one side done and one end done. And what's really important when I do my next side and end is that they're the same length as these ones. Okay? Okay, so this is one way to do it, and this works really well. I decided to try another method which a lot of people will use, which is using the table saw. And I built myself a special little miter sled. So what I can do is I'll put the blade height to just above my lumber. And then I built this so it's perfectly 45 degrees. Now I still want to keep the miters so they're framing the inside properly. I've made little marks on the side of my jig here that will show me the length. You could also use a stop block, but it was tricky to clamp on here, so I made marks specific to the length that I needed. Stop block on just to get a more accurate cut. I wasn't getting it quite as accurate as I'd like. And also my fingers are getting a little closer than I like, so I'm just going to use a clamp to hold this in place instead of my hand. And now I really just want to check the different sizes to make sure that they're exactly the same size. And if they're not, I'm going to have to adjust them so that they're perfectly a perfect box. And now I should have my two ends are just perfectly the same, nice miters. And my two sides are perfectly the same. And they should make a nice picture frame with the dados at the bottom. Like so. And now I should be able to figure out the size of my bottom and get ready to cut that. Okay, although I use the table saw and the miter saw, you should just choose one of them. And you do have an extra piece, so figure out which one you feel most comfortable with and most accurate with. And just cut the pieces you need and then save your extra piece in case you make an error and you can fix it from there. Good luck.